Today we're in downtown Goldsboro. We're talking with Mark Colebrook. Mark, it's good to see you.
Great to see you, Wayne.
Appreciate you talking to us today.
Thank you for coming out and talking with me.
You are so active in so many of the youth organizations and in youth efforts around the city and the county. So what's going on? What are you here today for?
Well, just to kind of talk about some of the things that we have done and some of the things that we're doing. With Operation Unite Goldsboro, our goal is just to bring the community together, start meaningful dialogue and conversations. We started last week or 2 weeks ago with the community police roundtable, where we had the chief of police and other people talking about things that we can make the city safe. Last night we had a community education forum. How can we get the education just a little bit better and again start that dialogue? So what we're doing is we're going down and we're talking about a couple of things here: the policing, education, the government, empowerment, and health. So I'll be reaching out in another couple of weeks with the CEO of UNC Health and the health department, and we can start having conversations around that as well.
I got to ask you. These are lofty goals, lofty efforts. This is
Absolutely
what I think is fantastic.
Yes, sir.
My question to you, though, is why hasn't this been done before? Now we always hear about people complaining about the police. They're complaining about health care. They're complaining about education and this, that, and the other. Why haven't we done this before?
Well, what I think is that it's just one of those things. People have always done things the same way and never really gotten any results. And what I found, just from my military background and where I'm from, I just go ahead and talk to the people. I went and talked to the chief of police, and I went and talked to the superintendent and said, hey, the community would like to have a meeting. And they were very well receptive. So the perception from the community is that they're not willing to talk, but they just have to get out and go talk to them.
You know, it's amazing, isn't it? Isn't
It
that
is.
amazing? You just take the path of least resistance.
Right.
You take the path that makes most sense.
Absolutely.
And common sense tells you just do it.
Just do it. So, you know, because I've been here since 2006, worked in the public school system, and then again heard, well, we need to do better, we need to do better. And I just kept hearing it and said, well, have you guys ever done this? And nobody had. So I just went, and they were the assistant superintendent, Miss Ishii, was very well receptive. The new Goldsboro High principal receptive, Dr. Dunsmore receptive. Everybody I've come in contact with is like, thank you for putting these things together and bringing us to the table.
That's fantastic. So what do we hope to accomplish here?
Well, from the community roundtables, then we will pare it down to working groups. Then we'll start getting into some action. So from the community police standpoint, the next group, it'll be a little smaller so that we can roll our sleeves up and tackle those important issues. Same thing with the education. The initial one roundtable is just to get the dialogue and people familiar with each other. And then from there, we'll just select a smaller group, and then we'll start tackling those issues. Like they're getting ready to tackle in the education system, the redistricting thing. So we definitely want to be a part, of that. They're talking about doing something different from an alternative school perspective. Right. We want to be part of those discussions. So those are the things that we want to do.
That just makes so much sense.
Yes, sir.
So is there a particular age group you're trying to target as far as children, or?
No, sir. We're looking at all of the kids there, and we understand
anybody in school.
Yeah, any of our age kids. And one of the things that I believe is that people have to understand that whoever is touching that child's life, we got to have conversations. We can't just say, well, it's the education. And we can't just say, well, it's the Boys and Girls Club. We can't just say it's the parent. We got to have to all come together and say, on the, the process of that child's life from school to whoever, let's have a conversation so that if I'm the teacher and you're the person that the child comes to see at the Boys and Girls Club, we need to conversate and we need to talk about, well, what are the frustrations you're seeing? What are the frustrations I'm seeing? And then we can help the child versus trying to do it one piece at a time.
Well, you can't do this one-on-one, can you? You have to. This is going to be a group effort.
This is going to be a true community effort. And one of the things with Operation Unite Goldsboro is that we need to have people understand that it's just not a school system. It's just not the city. It's just not the hospital. Everything that we do, I put community in front of so people get used to saying, well, this is a community issue. This is a community education instead of saying they. It's us. Yes.
There are some people, though, Mark, you have to admit that there are some people who'd rather complain about the way things are than actually do something about it. So what do you say to these people? Get out of the way?
Yeah. What do I say to those people is, again, get off of Facebook, because if we lived in Facebook, we could solve all the world's problems, because everybody has all the answers there.
And we'd know what everybody had for breakfast.
Absolutely. So my thing is that to get out and participate, and everybody has a role. If you're not one that's going to be active in this end, you have a responsibility to do something else. At least don't be negative. That's the key. Be positive. When you see things going on, just speak positive. I don't know what really is going on, but it's a change, and I'm willing to help.
Okay, so you do not shy away from change. You accept change, address change, and welcome it.
And we welcome change, because, again, just like where we're standing, had the city not had the foresight to really push through with this and listen to the naysayers, we wouldn't have Center Street here, because there were a lot of people that said we didn't need it, but it's beautiful.
And it's bringing people downtown.
And it's bringing people downtown.
And people are spending money.
And they're spending money, and the economy. And we're going to talk about those things, like with the summer youth program. That's a great initiative. So all of these initiatives, we need to continue to talk about the positives and push those forward.
What about the youngsters, though? I mean, we're talking about elementary age children. We're talking about high school children.
Right.
Now, the high school kids are going to be a little more difficult to talk to about this, right?
Absolutely.
How are you going to turn these kids around? Because they're all there saying, hey, I'm an adult. I know what I'm doing. You can't tell me anything, right?
Well, that's where, again, the community comes in. We find that one or two people, because we always know that there's a handful of people, no matter what, that somebody respects. Once we find out who that person is that they respect, we then get them on board, so that they'll see that, oh, okay, this is a person that I really respect, and they're singing the same tune that we're singing. So that's how we're going to get those tough high schoolers.
You find that one person, that one child, that creates or causes many problems to his family, to his peers, to people in the community, creating problems. You find that one person, that one child.
That's right. That one child respects it. Everybody has it. That one child says that I believe in this person, that person. And once you have that dialogue with the child, it may be, for example, if you're boxing. I know that Steve, does boxing.
Yes, he does.
And if it's Steve, then we go and have a conversation with Steve.
Yeah.
And then we build a relationship with Steve, and then create that triangle around that child and say, okay, Steve is on board with what we're talking about. So when you go to Steve, he's going to be talking to you about what the school policies are, what the communities are, what about fighting, things like that. We're all going to be saying the same thing to that child, no matter where they go.
You bring up Steve out at the Herman Park Center, that boxing club out there. He does an amazing job with young people.
He does. He does an absolutely amazing job. And so one of the things is that what we have to not, be in competition. We don't have to be in competition.
No.
We find out what somebody is doing well, and then we promote that. So if Steve has something that the kids are already drawn to, then what we do is we go in together and we say, okay, Steve, you have it from the athletic standpoint and all those things there. We want to bring in a little soft skills for employment. We want to bring in a little academic piece, because, again, what we need to do is wherever the kids are, we don't need to go and solicit them. You go where they are. If they're with Steve, if they're at the YMCA, if they're at the W.A. Foster, wherever they are, that's where we go.
Okay, now who are we? Is it a committee? Is it you and your family? Who is it?
Operation Unite Goldsboro is probably right now about 20 organizations, nonprofit organizations that have come together and said, hey, we want to make a difference. And the great thing about it is it doesn't take you out of your individuality. So if you like more youth program, you guys are doing a great job over there. Continue to do that. Now when you're having something, now you have this collective body that can support it, and that can get the word out, and that can support you, so you don't have to try to do it alone. You want to make sure that we're all working together.
I'm not suggesting that any particular organization is weak in any particular area. However, they may be needing help in a particular area, and they come to you and they say, who can I go to?
Absolutely.
And you say, go over here and see Joe. Joe does a great job in that area.
Absolutely. And the other thing that we want to do is we want to be a resource for the community. We're going to work on getting a guide out, so that if you come to me and you say, well, I'd like to have a mentoring, or I'd like to have this or that, here's this guide. And for the police too, you want to make a kind of a pocket thing, because they're impacting the community and touching lives. So if they see somebody that needs something, here's a guide. Instead of saying, well, I'll get back to you, no, they know exactly who to go to. Right there, on the spot. Help on the spot.
How does somebody volunteer, help, or do anything to help you out?
All they need to do is contact me through my email, Mark Colebrook at yahoo.com. My phone number is 910 494-2292. And then on Facebook, it's Operation Unite Goldsboro on Facebook.
Operation United Goldsboro on Facebook.
Yes, sir.
And your last name is Colebrook, Mark Colebrook,
Yes,
at
sir.
yahoo.com.
Yes, sir.
Always a pleasure, sir.
All right. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
buddy.
Wayne.
All right.
All right.